someone struggling to make a living by in essence investing in the same thing you invest in.
Are you saying I'm criticizing these people?
I'm just saying anyone that's criticizing a Bitcoin company is like piling on to a person that agrees with them on 99% of the fundamentals. And what you ought to do is applaud their decision, right? They basically decided that freedom and sovereignty and economic integrity and Bitcoin was apex property, and that's a good thing, and they've joined the movement. So maybe we ought to thank them or at least support them. The fact that their stock got overvalued by a factor of 3, so the stock trades up by a factor of 10 and you bought it and then it trades down, and now your answer is, instead of criticizing yourself, you're criticizing them, right? You're a stock speculator. If you're an equity speculator and you buy stocks that are trading at 57 times revenue and then it trades down, the fault is not with the company. The fault is with you.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I totally agree with that.
Right? And so instead of criticizing companies that do rational things, look in the mirror, hold yourself accountable. The problem is not companies buying Bitcoin. Mm-hmm. Right? How much room is there? There's room for every company on earth to buy Bitcoin, Danny.
So, okay, I think maybe I framed that badly, because I'm not criticizing these companies. It's more I'm asking what the market will sustain as of right now for these pure play treasury companies, especially with the fact that, like, in 2025...
Again, it's an offensive question.
But let me just...
Like, here's the problem with it. You're the one that's characterizing them as pure play treasury companies. They're not. But the insult, Danny, is you insult me by characterizing what I am and what I will be for all of eternity.
No, I'm not talking about strategy.
No, the point is, I'm like this literally insulted that you take that position. It's an offensive position to take.
Well, I apologize, because I'm really not trying to insult you.
They're operating companies.
Okay, but what? So
the point is, there's 400 million companies. They do a lot of different things. Mm-hmm. Right, and so you're taking the position that they do nothing but buy Bitcoin and sell equity to buy the Bitcoin by characterizing them as a pure play.
Okay, again, so that wasn't my intention. I'm really not trying to.
Let me say it a different way. How many companies are there on Earth, Danny?
400 million. Okay,
well, so how much room is there for companies on Earth?
400 million.
Well, then why are you concerned about the fact there's 200?
No. The question I'm trying to get to, though, is, like, in 25, like, you launching the preferreds, which I think are a really interesting product. Does that change the playbook for all these other companies, and how do they now compete against you? Now you have the preferreds as well.
I take issue with your question. It's an ignorant, insulting, myopic question. Why do you frame things that way? We're not competing with each other. That's like saying, well, like, I heard my neighbor bought Bitcoin and I bought Bitcoin. There's not enough room for both of us to buy Bitcoin. We're competing with each other. Now, my neighbor's got to buy another crypto asset? Like, we're not competing with each other, Danny. Like, that's the ignorant part of the question, right? That's what I take issue with. If you're a hotel company in Japan, mm-hmm. you're competing with other hotel companies in Japan. And the decision to buy Bitcoin is just a decision to improve the quality of your company. It's like saying how many companies can have electricity. I heard 200 companies have electricity, but there's one company that uses a lot of it. So do the other companies have to change their strategy? Dude, like, you think they had the same strategy? It's a silly question, and it's a myopic, ignorant, toxic framing of a question, and the result is you come to some ignorant conclusion.
Okay.
There's room for 400 million companies to buy Bitcoin, Danny.
Mm-hmm.
Do insurance companies compete with my company? I don't sell insurance. No. Do banks compete with my company? I don't sell bank. I'm not a bank. I don't buy consumer credit. Do I issue credit cards? No. Do exchanges compete with my company? No. We're not an exchange. Do companies that create AI compete with my company? No. None of these people compete with my company. There's a million, we literally just said there's 400 million companies. Why do you think that there's only one possible business strategy for a company that holds Bitcoin on its balance sheet? That's like saying there's only one thing you can do with electricity. Okay, what's the one thing? There's more than one thing you can do with electricity. That's like, oh, well, we speak English. Well, there's only one thing you can do if you speak English. We use dollars. Bitcoin is just a digital capital asset. You can literally do millions of things with digital capital. Which is why I take offense every time you try to characterize us as competing with each other. You're creating this dog-eat-dog world where everybody competes. We're not competing with each other. Companies that adopted electricity, decided they didn't want to rely on donkey carts. And you're sitting here criticizing companies that adopted electricity instead of use donkeys. And it's like, I just think it's offensive and it's myopic. And we ought to be constructive. Why don't you applaud them for not using donkey carts and using electricity? And then why don't you think, well, maybe there's more than one thing I can do with electricity. Maybe there'll be a world of Hollywood movies, and maybe we'll create elevators, and maybe we'll create electric cars, and maybe we'll create hair dryers, and maybe we'll create air conditioners with electricity. You can't imagine anything you could do with digital capital?
Of course.
Insurance, credit, banking, exchanges, derivatives, money funds. How about everything on earth that's ever been done would be done better with credit?
I mean, I'm really not trying to criticize these companies. I'm just trying to get your perspective on it. I'm sorry if that was an offensive question.
You're getting my perspective on it, which is you're wasting your time criticizing companies that decided they like Bitcoin.
Okay.
Why don't you, if you want to criticize companies, Danny, why don't you criticize the 99.9% of the companies that don't like Bitcoin?
Fair.
I mean, isn't that what you should be doing? That's my point. It's like this toxicity of eating its own young. Like, why don't you actually support the people that agree with you on 99% of your ideology instead of criticizing them?
Fair.
Right? They're actually trying to do the right thing for their shareholders, their families, right? Their countries, right? They're doing good things. Right? There's people in Brazil that need to buy equity. They need someone like Orange BTC. There's people in Japan. They need MetaPlanet. There's people in the UK. They need Smarter Web. There's people in France, right? They need Capital B. Right? That those companies are planting the flag for Bitcoin, and they're carrying digital capital into the equity capital markets everywhere in the world, and they're all doing it to different degrees. And they're struggling. It's a very competitive market. Like, out of the 400 million companies, like, how many of them have an easy time of it, Danny?
Oh, very
10?
Yeah.
Okay. So there's like 10 megacorps that have an easy time. Everybody else is struggling. There's 8 billion people struggling. There's 400 million companies that are struggling. Like, what's my advice for them? Buy Bitcoin. Bitcoin's the strategy. My issue with your question is your advice is don't bother because you're not going to be as big a strategy, and let's talk about all their problems. And my point is, it's so non-constructive. It's so soul-sucking, right? Right, for us to spend time on negativity. They have to get up and go to work, just like you do. And so my suggestion for your company is focus on Bitcoin, and if you have capital, buy Bitcoin with it. And don't obsess over the fact that maybe you don't have as much as another company, or you can't do what another company could do. Ask yourself what you can do. Like, I got 100 ideas for you, right? They're all good, constructive ideas, right? People either look at the world with a positive lens, I'm going to embrace new technology and become the best version of myself I can be, or they embrace negative ideas. Oh yeah, someone else got there before me, and I guess I can't. And so I don't think we should be spending time on negativity.
Okay. Let's move on from that then, because I
Okay.
truly wasn't trying to be offensive with that. With all of the companies that are now trading below 1xM NAV, obviously Strategy went through a period of that in